Well. You clicked on this video. I'm guessing that you want to make an impression. I'm here to help. You're probably like, what are your credentials for that? I don't have any. Hi, I'm Avery. I go to school at UCF. My major is studio art. I'm a senior. This is my 3rd year of school, so I will be officially done after this fall. Going to school as an art major is very different than I imagined, but over these past couple years, I've picked up on a couple things that might be really helpful for people coming into college. If you want to stand out, if you want to make an impression, if you want to be remembered, if you want somebody to say behind your back, wow, I wish I were her or him, this is the video for you. As someone who I feel like does not fit the artist stereotype, other than being super obsessed with overalls, I feel like I have a little bit of an inside scoop on how to break it. I will start by saying if your goal is to create connections, is to create opportunities from going to college, you have to do that by making an impression. Doing something or showing something, expressing something that'll grab others' attention so those opportunities will find you. This video isn't just like to be different, to grab attention, to be like, oh my gosh, it was so different. Don't be a pick-me. That's not what this video is for. Before I get started, this is not to bash anybody. This is not to bring down anybody. These are just some things I've noticed about our community. Everybody has one. Every community has their stereotypes. And this is just a simple how to break the artist stereotype while also still being your full, complete self. So for this video, I will go over on how to make an impression on your professors, on your peers, and in your assignments. What I've noticed throughout most of my classes, this one applied to a lot of my classes, and it's honestly a little bit sad when you think about it, maybe. It was just kind of interesting to think about because I am a very expressive person. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. It is hard for me to hide my face. If I have an opinion, if I'm thinking about something, it will most likely show on my face. But sometimes that works in my benefit because when I'm going to these classes, when listening to the teachers talk or give a lecture, give a demo, they make a joke, I naturally smile. A lot of people are just kind of numb, like RBF face. I naturally smile. I just am very expressive. The more I smiled, I would get eye contact back from the teacher. I'm interacting with their demo or their lecture, and that created a connection, like a very subtle one. I started to branch off thinking about this one day, but you would look around and especially in 8 a.m. classes, everyone's dead, everyone's tired. We're like, most of the time I am. Teachers are there too. They wake up at 8 a.m. with you. They have to teach. They don't get to sit and zone out. They have to get the energy enough to give a lecture. So when somebody is interacting, when they see someone smiling at them, find that soon like, oh, this kid is interested. This kid likes to listen to me. So they're gonna keep looking for that person who is interested in that lecture, whatever is being talked about. That was one of the biggest things I've noticed is that a lot of professors made a lot of eye contact with me when giving a lecture, just because I smiled. Isn't that just smile, guys, just smile at your professors, just be nice. The smallest things can make such a big difference and you're like, I clicked on this video to learn how to smile. Yes, you did, just smile. Aren't you happier if you're walking the street and you kind of smile to this random person and the person smiles back? How would you feel if they were if you smiled and they didn't do anything, Little effort, minimal effort, and you'll make such an impression on that teacher. First day, that teacher is gonna automatically like you because you're gonna be interested in what they have to say. Even if you're not, just try to focus. It's so hard for me to do that. I easily zone out. You naturally get in good with the teachers. You don't want them to have beef with you, because I've had beef with teachers, and sets you up for a bad school year. Who knows, an opportunity could come out of it just by them liking you. My painting teacher, that's when I first started to notice it. I genuinely loved her. I enjoy painting. I'm a painter. I genuinely loved listening to what she had to say, and she had some really good insight. I will be bold enough to say I think I was her favorite of that class, because I would notice she would come up to me, and because of that relationship, she was helping me with my portfolio review at the time because it didn't go well. I didn't pass a portion, and so she was willing to help me talk to professors about that and try to figure something out. Next, how to stand out with your peers. This one I had a little bit of trouble with because I'm not the most social person in the world. I just feel like I didn't have a lot in common with the people I was around. But ever since high school, I've noticed a theme, not just among artists, but with everybody. In my high school PE class, there was this girl. She would always start conversation by saying, "Oh, today's awful. Oh, like I'm so tired." She would always start the conversation by complaining. That just immediately brought my mood down. It's almost like complaining is the easiest way to start conversation. Like it's the first thing to pop on someone's mind. You know it's relatable, that other person most likely can relate. And it sets up the whole conversation of complaints. And if the more you complain, the more you think those negative thoughts, the worse you are going to feel. When you go into conversations, try not to say anything negative or bad. It's so hard not to, especially if you are having a bad day. Like, don't feel like you can't say anything if you genuinely are. But if you're just doing it as a default setting to make the conversation flow, it'll encourage you to find the worst in things, and that'll set you up for a bad college experience. That'll set you up for a bad life. Train your brain to think differently. You always feel awful talking to someone who feels awful or just puts you in a bad mood. Wouldn't you rather talk to someone who boosts your mood and gets you excited for something? Especially in art school, I guess a lot of people don't want to be there, or like early morning classes can get anyone in a bad mood. Like if you talk about something nice, something lighthearted, something you're excited about, especially in art class, maybe talk about your inspiration for a piece, people will automatically be drawn to you and will want to talk to you because you make them feel good. So I would just say, be a light, be encouraging. Even if you don't necessarily like a person, still be a light to them, still encourage them. So yeah, and you're like, I'm learning to smile and I'm learning how to be nice. I'm sorry guys if you were thinking this was gonna be a little more juicy, and maybe I'll have something a little more juicy, but for now we're just starting with the basics. So now we're gonna get into the art side of things, because there is a huge theme in art. Sorry, I feel like out of all stereotypes, artists, we have a big one. I'm sorry guys, we gotta step it up. We're supposed to be creative, okay? Speaking from someone who's like good at replicating photos, I'm not that creative, but sometimes you just need to push yourself to be. Again, disclaimer. I have to say this. Whatever I say, I don't mean to bash, I don't mean to make fun of, I don't want to discourage anybody. This is just the common theme amongst artists. And this is how to break that, is to get out of that pattern. If you don't want to be like everybody else, if you want your assignments to stand out, if you want your artwork to grab attention, okay? Okay, to start, I have my list. We're gonna start with the story because I didn't know any of this going into college. This is all stuff I've learned this past couple years being among art students. Common themes. I thought I was being so original. Our assignment was to create birdhouses, and I thought I was being so smart. I am a very detailed, intricate person, and I was like, I'm gonna do the most detailed thing I can possibly think of. And I also like vintage things, or like, I love really cool architecture, so I'm like, cathedral. Little did I know that cathedrals are so overdone. I didn't know I had to use Adobe Illustrator to get the laser cutter files for my designs. I thought I would be hand cutting them. I was like, I don't know how to work on a laser cutter. And I was like, so it's the most simplest cathedral you've ever seen. Come to critique, literally like 4 other people do cathedrals. And then for the rest of the 3 years of college, I'm pretty sure there was a cathedral themed assignment in each class I've ever had. So I don't know what it is about cathedrals that we're just all drawn to, but don't do that. So the point of this, to show you the common themes, is to like give you a heads up or a head start to make your art stand out among others. Like, you don't want the same competition. If 4 other people are doing cathedrals, you're gonna be compared to those 4 other cathedrals. This is to help you get those original ideas, to check off those boxes that have already been done. Not that they're bad ideas, they're great ideas. Like, I thought it was great. So it's just kind of to help you stay away from those and create something different. Next one, with that being said. So I've never done this one because I don't like it personally, but I know a lot of people do. But horror, anything horror films, everybody does it. Any sort of horror, like honestly. Art specifically, it is done a lot. Like a lot. There hasn't been a class where there isn't horror or something dark, something angsty, something with deep contrast. What is so weird is that for artists, for people who I feel like should be involved in color and light and brightness, and we're all dark and angsty and neutral. And I'm like, come on. But that's just me. I personally love color. I did this in my painting 1 class and it got so much attention. And it wasn't really all that good. I don't think it was all that good, like it wasn't my best work, but because it was so different, it got so much attention. Everyone, did something super dark. We were doing still lifes of fruit, and everyone likes this harsh lighting and something dark and like brings out rich and deep colors, which is beautiful. But for fruits and vegetable still lifes, so common. Everybody does it. I didn't do this to be different, but I just did it because it's my style. I almost thought it wasn't allowed because everybody did it. All the examples were like that, so I almost thought it wasn't allowed and that I would get a bad grade for it. So this was my still life of fruit. It's all pastels. During critiques, you can comment on them. And everyone was like, it's so different. They haven't seen it done a lot. And it just stuck out, and it wasn't necessarily all that good, but it was different, and that's what made it grab attention. So if you have an idea, and like me, you were kind of scared to do it because it's not normal, do it. Do the idea. Put yourself in your work. Let your work be a reflection of you. That's the great thing about art, is it's another way to express yourself. I hope this doesn't sound super cheesy. Also, the motivation is there if you are doing stuff that makes you happy. You're less likely to go into burnout and trying to be like everybody else or trying to fit the stereotype. Don't try to fit the stereotype. Try to sit out. So this was another one of my ways of just unintentionally standing out. I know it's not like life-changing information, but it's so true. I'm going to speak bluntly about this theme. I personally am so tired of hearing it, and I don't want to see it ever again after I graduate. But if you guys like it, and if you really have a passion for it, for this theme, and you feel like you have something to say about it, then kudos to you, go do it. I really mean that. But life and death. I'm sorry. I just can't do this one anymore. Probably the most overdone thing I have ever seen. That's a very safe option, actually. If you just want an A and you want to get in good with your peers and your teachers, do that. That's always a safe choice, and then everyone's gonna be like, yay, we love it. Can we just be different? Can we think of something else to do? Every single person does it. Life and death. It's like dead rose, alive rose, dead whale, alive whale, yin and yang. I've seen it all. I would recommend you do what you want, but I would recommend don't do that. Do something else. Because you don't want to be compared to the other people who do it. You want to have something that has never been seen before, that has never been thought of before. You want to share that expression with others, and you want people to resonate with what you see. If you have a genuine, good, different idea, please do it. You're gonna get so much out of that. It'll probably help you out in the long run. So life and death, don't do it, please. Please don't do it. I'm begging you. If you really have a passion for the arts, I know you can come up with something better. So please challenge yourself to think of something completely different. The next one, Alice in Wonderland. It's kind of like, I don't see the appeal, honestly, but I guess it's very whimsical, but also like dark and whimsical. I guess those two coming together is like harmony for the artist. It has that dark Tim Burton-esque sort of feel, while also being whimsical, but like creepy, but colorful and dark. It's an artist playground. That is also another safe choice. If you don't know what to do, if you just want an A, Alice in Wonderland, safe choice. Do that. Everyone loves it. Another example is that we were doing portraits. We were mostly, you could do a self-portrait or you could do like a family member. So a lot of people did family portraits. There are many beautiful paintings. I remember this assignment so well. I submitted a wedding painting, and I even have the picture of it still. I can pop it up, like, here are my credentials. I remember so many people hovering around it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I like it. Honestly, there's a lot of live wedding painters out there. I'm not saying it's too different, but it was different for the school atmosphere. It just got me a lot of attention. Too much attention, actually, that I failed my studio portfolio. Break for story time. I did not pass my studio portfolio review. And if you don't know what that is, it's only specific to UCF. I don't think all the schools have it. I think it's only UCF. That could be wrong. But you're technically not into your major until like your third year, because you have to take your basic art courses and then submit a portfolio showing that you know the basic principles and elements of art, and then you move on. I passed the drawing portion, but I did not pass 2D and 3D, I think. Since I didn't take 2D art at the college, I did AP art in high school, I didn't have their work for 2D art. I had to submit graphic designs. I submitted my birdhouses were also crap. I needed, I think, a colorful piece and like to show that you knew how to work with color. So I, of course, submitted the portrait to show that I knew how to mix skin colors and I'm good at color matching. So I submitted the wedding portrait because I felt like it's human anatomy. You got the skin colors, you got the background colors. Like I feel like that showed my basic understanding of art. And then I submitted like a charcoal drawing to show like I'm good with contrast and value. I don't pass and I'm really upset. I was in my painting class one day and my teacher came up to me, the painting teacher, the one. See, this is why making impressions on your professors is so helpful. She came up to me and she was really excited. She wanted me to take her painting class or painting 2 class next semester, and I told her I couldn't because I didn't pass and I have to go back and take my D3D class. She was like, what? That's crazy. Not to say this to brag, but she straight up told me, she was like, you're the best student in this class and you didn't pass and you're not taking my painting class. She told me, she's like, I'm gonna go talk to the professors and see if I can get you moved. She was so sweet, and she was my favorite teacher. I was like, I feel like the feeling was mutual. She went and talked to the professors for me. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but that's okay. Not passing portfolio review gave me a reason to stay in Orlando longer, so it was actually a blessing in disguise. It all worked out. It was fine. But anyway, back to the point of the story. She's like, why didn't you pass? And I was like, I honestly don't know. Like, show me your work. So I pulled up the pictures of what I submitted, and one specifically, she was like, looking at the wedding picture, she was like, you submitted this? And I was like, yeah, I submitted that. She was like, this is too sweet. They don't like this sort of stuff. And I was like, what? So you're telling me it wasn't about like technical skill or my understanding, it was too sweet. That's why? You're telling me I didn't pass because this is not their style. Okay, some would say art is subjective, because it totally is. When things happen to you like that, when professors grade you on opinion, don't worry, you'll bounce back. There's pros and there's cons, but I think the pros outweigh the cons, so just keep doing it. 1 failure means 2 more successes. I think I just made that up. Koi fish. This one is so dumb, and this one I recently discovered. I'm in a ceramics class, and you go on Pinterest, there's a lot of koi fish designs, but I just saved one. Like the first one I saw, I was like, that's really cute. I keep seeing them, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't do koi fish. And then, funny enough, I go into class, the guy in front of me is doing koi fish. And then I go to my printmaking class, and someone's printmaking a koi fish. I'm like, what's with the koi fish? I feel like that one's random, but don't do koi fish. I don't know why that one's a thing, but it is. Okay. This one, also a personal opinion, and I know I might get bashed for this, but I'm not an anime gal. One, because as a kid, like if you grew up drawing or into art, you were probably into drawing anime. Not thankfully. I never was. I was more on the eyeball side. I was the eyeball girl. Anime is very overdone. If you're into character animation and that's what you want to go in, I mean, do that. It depends, you know, it depends on what you're going into. If you want to draw anime, if you want to paint that, if that's what your heart desires and that's the career path for you, then go do that. But in basic classes like painting, drawing, like if that's not the criteria you're going for, if you just need a theme to come up with for your assignment, I suggest not doing that one either. That one's always been a thing for artists. Don't do Labubu's, that's a new one. But I don't care for Labubu's. Well, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was really helpful and encourage you to be your genuine, authentic self, and maybe give you a heads up and a head start for some assignments, and just overall look forward to the college experience. And maybe this will encourage you to express yourself in the most unique way possible and hopefully create those opportunities and connections for you. This is just my full-on opinion and what I've observed for the past 3 years going to art school. If you have anything specific you would like me to touch on, I would be happy to answer and happy to help. I really enjoy making these kind of videos of just things I've noticed from my experiences. I'm so excited for you guys, and I wish you the best of luck. I will be praying for y'all. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next video.